The leadership teams that I work with are working harder than ever often. And something is just still not clicking. Whether it be that meetings are going in circles, they're constantly talking about the same thing over and over and over again, but things are just like not getting solved. There's no action to move that issue forward and to actually solve it for good. Maybe execution is inconsistent. You're hopping from one priority to the next throughout the month or throughout the quarter. Perhaps growth or profitability have stalled, or maybe growth is happening so fast that there's just not a strong enough foundation underneath it to be able to hold that business to be strong and be able to kind of get through that growth surge, if you will. And all of this is really normal, and it's not a people problem, but it's a structure problem. And without the right structure or a structure in place with intention in how you're building your business, these things are bound to happen. Businesses are going to hit a ceiling, and you'll start to notice these kinds of symptoms. I'm Meryl Simmons. I am a business coach and an EOS implementer. EOS stands for the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And a bit about me is that I spent about 2 decades as an operator in the medical device industry on the leadership team. I've lived through rapid growth, experienced it leading high growth teams through acquisitions as both a middle manager as well as an executive. And I've really experienced every stage of the business outgrowing the way that it runs. That experience gives me something very specific that, in fact, clients tell me I'm really good at and how I help them, which is to be able to see what they can't see and to be able to kind of identify inconsistencies and gaps and maybe some blind spots that they're too close to be able to recognize, and so that we can kind of name them directly and start fixing them. But the ways that we can start fixing them is being able to use an operating system. And the operating system that I use is called EOS. I work with mid-sized companies anywhere from 20 to about 500 in size that have outgrown their structure. And together, we work on strengthening the 6 foundations that every leadership team and business needs in order to scale. Those 6 foundations are vision. So being able to see clearly where you're going and how you're going to get there, communicate it with everyone so everyone is on the same page. Be able to be strong in the right people in the right seats. Do you have the right structure in order to move the business forward and achieve your goals over the next 12 or 16 months? Do people know what it is that they own in that business, that they're responsible for driving that outcome? There are many times where businesses, just like people don't even understand what it is that their job is. They're just doing activities all day, but they don't really know what success looks like. So we have to make sure that we're strong in right people, right seats. Making sure that we're running our business with clear data, not lagging indicators, but also leading indicators that help us on a weekly basis to be able to make changes and tweaks when things are going off track so they don't start to hit the bottom line at the end of the month or the end of the quarter. Also, the way that we solve problems as a team, as I explained earlier, people are typically talking in circles and they don't really they're solving symptoms, not the root cause of an issue in a business, or it keeps coming up and up again. Things like consistent process. And then lastly, but not least, making sure that we're able to uh, have real traction in the business, being able to actually execute on that vision so that day in and day out, we have systems and frameworks that help us to prioritize from every single quarter to the week to the day of what those most important things are that we need to stay focused on. When momentum stalls in a business, because it always does at some point, I help you to use these proven frameworks for you and your team to go through each of these stages and be able to break through that ceiling. And the businesses that can actually break through those ceilings aren't just working harder, but they are built differently. That's the work that I help you to do. So if this sounds familiar for you, or if it's something that I've piqued your interest, I'd love to have a conversation.